I mean, this is funny. So Steven Crowder is just in a tough spot. I mean, after the video footage of him being what appears to be incredibly controlling and potentially verbally abusive, I'm protecting myself here by giving qualifiers, to his wife, that was leaked. There was a lot of controversy. Yeah, his wife, who was pregnant with his twins, and he was, trying to get her to Uber to the grocery store to get him food, and use potentially toxic dog medication to take care of the dogs while he sat on his ass and smoked a cigar. Regardless of those kinds of things, he has been having a tough time professionally because he decided that he was going to go wage all-out war on the Daily Wire by pretending that they offered him some sort of exploitative contract to the tune of tens of millions of dollars as a way to launch his own thing. But that's been difficult for him right now. He's fallen a little flat on his face. So he might be having some regrets about trashing the Daily Wire publicly. And that's why he comes out here in support of Matt Walsh and the Daily Wire as they're in the midst of trying to call out Elon Musk for not giving them the distribution that they want for their anti-trans documentary, What is a Woman? Here he is saying, hey, I might have messed up a little bit.
We were going to potentially at one point co-stream to Twitter, and we saw some warning signs behind the scenes and said, I don't know. Again, this is something I've been and of course, I've had my differences with Jeremy and Daily Wire. Of course, I think this is absolutely wrong. And Matt Walsh, especially if they pay for the package, no, they're absolutely right. And I think that it's great that he's getting his film out there. It's a message that needs to be heard.
Yes.
And it's remarkable that Twitter, and we said this would happen with Twitter, and this is the problem I have. Look, everyone knows YouTube, right? They're out in the open right now. You know exactly where they line up. When you have people putting on your team jersey, people at Twitter who think that they're on your side and they're not, that is far more dangerous than knowing who the enemy is. This is the issue. This is the issue. There is no way to have a sustainable movement if you are dependent on big tech. Use them as they are useful, sure. The problem here is there's Rumble right there. Yeah. Right.
Oh, okay. This is, again, what makes me laugh about the conservative critique of big tech. First of all, it can't be Elon Musk, trying desperately to retain some semblance of advertisers as Twitter has plummeted in value from when he's actually acquired it. I mean, it's a direct, slope downward. We're talking Black Diamond slope downward, okay? I mean, that's part of what Elon Musk is trying to do, to salvage that and make sure that their terms of service include let's not actively misgender trans people, which is what is done throughout this entire documentary. But I mean, the conservative critiques of big tech, there's nothing systemic, nothing. It's just about go to our platform that's a little bit better. And that's why he plugs Rumble there, where it seems quite clear that the Peter Thiel funded Rumble has some financial dealings with its top creators. I'm not saying that's the case with Crowder. It seems very likely that it's the case. Same thing with Glenn Greenwald and others, where they are artificially promoting an alternative video streaming service and pretending that it's different from everything else in big tech. They just freaking said that when Elon Musk acquired Twitter, and now they're already complaining about him because this is not about free speech. This is about, I want a platform that is going to most effectively prioritize my hate content so that you will come and sign up to be a member behind the paywall where you get the really, really hateful stuff.
Yeah, I mean, this is a real, it's obscuration of the actual class politics here, because I often point to when First Avenue, a great venue in Minneapolis, decided right as the Chappelle stuff was blowing up about trans people, decided, actually, we don't want to put on this show. This whole thing where we decide to put all the chairs out and get the lights up. We as workers don't want to do that. So when we hear this case, right? So apparently a whole bunch of people at Twitter decided that actually this was anti-trans. Those people, I would probably say, workers. probably employees at the thing, and the boss comes in and protects free speech. And Greenwald and all these people, they are promoting these capitalists as the saviors of free speech against woke workforces. It's the exact same thing that happened at Facebook when Donald Trump said, when the looting starts the shoot, I always say charts. When the looting starts, the shooting starts. And Facebook employees were like, hey, maybe we don't want one of the main things that happens on our platform to be the president of the United States basically letting vigilantes and cops off the hook for suppressing protests with gun violence. And that created a huge problem where Zuckerberg, and I forget what the guy's name is who was in the background of the Kavanaugh hearings, but
Joel Kaplan,
all these right-wing Facebook executives, they had an employee issue that they had to deal with. And that's really what they
Pixar versus
Pixar,
Disney.
the exact same thing. They want some representation, but and so they come say, oh, it's these woke corporations. What they really mean, it's the workers that corporations have to rely on to make these products.
Well said. Yeah. And again, like, well, I guess let's just hear what Crowder. More promotion for Rumble.
There's no way to have a sustainable movement if you are dependent on big tech. Yes. Use them as they are useful. Sure. The problem here is there's Rumble right there. Yeah. Great. Use it, and let's grow it. I want to see everyone on there. Yeah. Show them your support. Show Matt Walsh your support. Send it to him on Twitter. Probably bookmark his Twitter if you're there so that you can actually see his tweets if you're not going to be able to see it in your feed.
Right.
You shouldn't have to do it. That's why we do the show Monday through Friday, because it's like TV Guide. Yeah. We know that notifications don't always work. We know that we can be throttled at any point. You guys check in every day, and so we don't have to worry about it. That's the culture we want to create.
I mean, dude, just like get the boot off of your tongue. I mean, just try to surgically remove it because it's embarrassing for you.
I love this Crowder trying to be like
big tech is in bed with big con.
Yeah. Who are the investors? Who are the investors of Rumble? Is Jason Calacanis? Did he go put a quite significant investment into Rumble? The guy who was calling for Joe Biden to save Silicon Valley Bank like a month ago, 2 months ago. Yeah, all these guys are bought, and all this sort of deployment of principle, whether it's free speech or whatever, it's all for their basically metrics, their payment.
David Sachs just joined the Rumble board this month.
Not shocking.
More free speech.
Yes, David Sachs, the billionaire who just did a fundraiser with Ro Khanna. I say this every time he comes up.
Not acceptable, Ro.
Not acceptable. And let's just be clear that that's the guy David Sachs is, and nobody within the Democratic Party should be associating with these kinds of freaks.
And I mean, if you are a genuine, I mean, you're probably confused, maybe a bit bigoted, but if you're a Crowder fan and apparently against corporate power, you should know that about these guys.
Yeah. It's just, I can't. I mean, the disgusting sucking up to Daily Wire and boring and Shapiro is like embarrassing for Crowder, and it's been a tough few months for him in terms of embarrassment. But it's just like the seamless transition from big tech, you can't trust them, to we need to promote Rumble, and that's why. Like, I don't know, is Rumble on an abacus? Is Rumble like just a cable news television program? Because I missed that. Or is it also a part of a tech platform? Because, I mean, the guys that have invested in it and founded it certainly were a part of big tech. PayPal, big part of that in Silicon Valley to start off this the tech hellscape we're living in right now. Those guys are as instructive and instrumental to the structure of big tech that they rail against as anybody. So
I hate big tech. Now, for this new platform created by a whole bunch of venture capitalists that has nothing to do with big tech.
Yeah.
A bunch of Silicon Valley Bank aligned people, they want to take on big tech.
All right. And it's funny, too, because Rumble is currently signing up all these big like Twitch streamers who were too controversial for the platform, who don't necessarily dabble in politics, but were getting banned for like doing policy breaking activities nonetheless. And so it's pretty clear that Rumble is the platform where VCs will throw money at you if you have some big audience. And for the little guy who actually has something to say, Rumble's not the platform for you, because they're not going to help promote you. They're not going to even have the algorithm send your stuff out, but they'll go crazy for the people who have already made it.
Yeah, no, I just, it's a real shame. You hate to see this happen because I'm a bit of a hipster when it comes to Rumble. I was a big fan of it when it was called Cantor Fitzgerald Acquisition Corporation No. 6, and I think it kind of lost its way since the name change.
Classic rebranding gone wrong.
The actual really early days of Rumble was just a website that paid people to upload like viral animal videos. Like it's that was its whole thing.
Still
like
kind of what it is.
Yeah,
Animals.
Zing.
Right.